Okay, in this video I'm going to talk about pivot tables again. As I already have spoken about pivot tables in the previous video, this is again going to be a simple different example. Let's look into the details of the pivot table. As you can see, I have this data. This data I have got it from the Northwind database. Now, Northwind database that came with the access. Now I want to create a pivot tables. I have created this data by using a SQL query in the access and then trying to export the data to the Excel. This is how I got the data here. Now let me actually select this data. You should know before creating a pivot table you have to select the data and create a table out of it. Now in this case we are going to do it a little bit differently. I am going to create a range in it. For the name, define the name it and use a name in that range to create the pivot table. Okay, now let's do it. It's better how we do it. Here we go. I click on the first cell, press the shift and end, and then the right arrow, then again the end and the down arrow. I did not remove the hands from the shift key, and this is how I've got to selected the whole range of the cell. Now let's go back to the top. Now this is the pivot table data I have here. I can go to the data. As you can see, the formulas, and as you can see I can define a name here. I can see I can go to the name manager. I can say new pivot product country, and I have defined this range. Usually what you would be doing is selecting the whole data and selecting a table and actually doing it, but in this case I am going to do it a little bit differently to show you how you can use a range name. I have created the range and I am going to click OK, and here you can see that it has created the product country range, and I am going to say close on it, product country, and I'm going to go OK. Now I have got the product country. How do I create a pivot table from here? Okay, now the thing is I go and put the cursor here. Now I've selected this cell. This cell shows up here at case 7. Now insert pivot table. Now if you say select table, again if you wanted you could have done it with selecting this table, the whole table. As you can see, this whole table I could have created and said select table, and it could have got selected, and this would have become the product country, that product country table. I can even say it as a product name or something. This is the same thing as what we created and by giving a defined name. Okay. Now instead of using this thing, the table name, I could have actually gone directly and said insert pivot table without defining the name, and it would have worked. I will show you. Now it asks me the range. Select the range. I did not actually select the range here. Now what I can do is I can click here, and then I can go to the formula and use the formula product country, and here we have, and I can say okay, I have got product country. I click OK, and here we got the pivot table coming up. You can see the data has come here, it is showing up. Now the thing is, what do I do? What I want is that the product name and by the country. So I can either choose by the product name for the row or by the country. In this case I am going to choose the product name by the row wise and the shipping country in the column wise. The column will show up here. Now it has actually created a table. You can see that The pivot table has been created. Now there is no data into it. Now I will move the quantity into the some quantity, and you can see, okay, here it is. Okay, so I need to remove it. That's why it's okay. Now you can see that the data has already been there, some quantity, and you can see that there's a grand total. So far so good. Very nice to look at it. Here's a pivot table that has been created very nicely. Now the thing is, I need to create a graph. As you can see, this is a very complex data. You need to create a graph. How do you create a graph? Now, to create a graph, you just go here, but before, and actually click on this thing, select, I will select the stacked one, and I'm going to click OK, and it has created a graph, okay, on its own. Now I need to make this little bit larger in the size, you can see, and you can see that the graph is there, and we can drag it and make it a little bit bigger and little bit bigger. Because there is a lot of data compressed into this thing, you can see that you will be able to actually see a lot of data here coming up, and you need to expand it to see the data correctly. Now here are the product names that are coming up here, as you can see, and every product that has been sold in the country is assembled here in the graph. Here it is. Okay, the first one is the blue one, the Norway, and other things. You have to look into the details what these mean. Okay, there, what does this means? What does this means? And you can see that the Canada is showing you on the blue. It has everything here. See, the blue is showing the horizontal axis. This thing, the Brazil or Ireland, what it is. And let me see the details. As you can see, every one of them shows a different this thing, the name of the country. You can just move on each of the graph bar and see with the color that it shows you a different country here. That is how you come to know from these different colors that which country it means. It may have a similar color, so you have to be very careful about it when you are selecting a data that has lots and lots of data to be shown up. Now so far so simple, so good. Now the thing is that let me move the, okay, before we go to the further, let me show you something else. Here it is. You should know that you can choose from the ship country. You can select and remove it if you just wanted to see only for few countries, and if you said okay, and you can see that most of the countries are disappeared from those things. And you can even select a lesser country. Maybe I will select these left over these with this thing, and you can see that okay, here are left over of the countries, and you can see these data showing up. And if you want to put it back, you can add them and they will be there depending upon what you want. And we have all the data back. Now so far so good. Now I can choose it by the product wise also. Suppose if I did not want the data for the product name, I can go and deselect those data I do not want for the report, and I can say okay, and those products have disappeared from both the sides. Now remember that you can make it disappear from both the sides, from the data as well as from the graph side. It has the same logic built into it. There is no difference. It is same active X or whatever that they have built it, and they have shown it to you. Okay, and here we go, and this is done. We have this graph coming up. Now so far so good. This is the good thing about the object-oriented programming. If you use object-oriented programming, you can move a lot of codes from one part of the other part, and it will work in very similar manner. Anyway, that we are not dealing with the object-oriented programming as such. Let's move to the other thing. Now let me move this graph to the let me move this graph. I have to select the right. Now as you can see, I have this data grand total. The grand total data, you can see is the sales that is happening in all the countries. As you can see, this is the data for all the countries from here onwards to the, let me check it out, to this one. The last one would be for the total. What I need, I have selected this data. This is data for the Canada, Germany, and all those things, the products going up and down. Now, so if I needed a graph for each of this product, how they were performing, whether they were going up, down, and what else, so I can do this thing in the Excel 2010, and that is known as sparkling lines. Spark lines. Okay, let's go and check it out. Here it is. You can see there is a spark line. I'm just going to select, I already selected the data, and I'm going to select the spark line. It says the location. Where do you want the location? I want just to the next to the grand total. Do not select the grand total because it doesn't make any sense to select the grand total, and you can keep on selecting till the end of the, drag it and just leave it there. And I've done it, and I'm going to click OK, and you can see that these are lines going up and down. What has happened is that this data is not consistent as such, so it is showing the line having a breakage because the data is not getting consistent. But if it was other data, it would have been a very consistent data. This would have shown up. I will show you in the other graph in this thing that how to use this thing in the consistent data, because this is inconsistent data as you can see. But anyway, let's move to the some important things. Here is the column. You can see we can have the column, we can have the wins and losses. But anyway, this is what basically it is, the spark lines. But in this case, it is not very good looking at it. But in the next example, we will see to it that it looks good. Okay, now you can change the color of the lines. As you can see, here it is. But because the data is inconsistent, there are a lot of spaces, so it is getting broken up. That is what the graph it is getting created. The breaking line says that the data is missing in between. But doesn't matter. The only thing is that I need to clear this thing. This was just for the demo that I wanted to show you what spark lines is. I can clear the contents. I can delete it. Okay, this is gone. This is what the data is. Now let's take some other example. I have shown you this one. Now I am going to show you one more example. Now in this example, I am going to show you the pivot table created from the Access database. Now this is very strange. You have so far used only the data that has been actually been used in the Excel, but you can use the data that is coming from Access. You can use the data that is coming from the Oracle, SQL Server, or any other database that is coming from out. Plus you can use it from the other worksheet or the other workbook depending upon what you want to do. Now let's go and make a pivot table from the Access database, and here I say insert pivot table. I do not have any range, I do not have anything, so I say select external data. So I will make it choose connection, browse for more, and I go new source. And here we have the ODBC. I got to choose in the Microsoft Data Access, but I will choose this thing, and I say next. I do not have the files. Say Microsoft Access database, next. Now where is the database? Now the database is somewhere on the C colon, and this is extreme. Click OK, and I have something known as sales. that actually I have created by using a query. I will show it to you, give the query to you, and you can see that how this was created. And I'm going to, this database is the Extreme database. Okay, and I'm going to say next, and I'm going to say finish. Yes, and it's going to be here. Okay, now you can see that the data has come from here, and you can see the customer name, order amount, product name. Okay, here you can see there are 3 columns. Now I can say I want it by the customer name here, so I get it by the customer name, or I can move this thing here if I want it by the customer name here, but in this case I'm going to use it this one. And then I'm going to take the product name here in the column, and then if I want I can drag this order to the values, and I have the values here. This is how you create a pivot table from the Access or any other database you want. As you can see, this is what exactly how the pivot table is created. You can change this thing, you can drag this thing here and you can drag this thing here, and it still works. It depends how you want to present the data. I will rather keep it in a similar manner. And actually now I can always filter. Suppose if I did not want the whole thing to be down, you can always filter the data by using this thing. You can put it here and drag the product name here. Now what you can see is that once I drag the product name here, I can select whatever I want, but the thing is that you cannot drag the same field in the column name. See, what happens is that if you try to drag it from the same thing into the filter, it will actually remove it from the column name and tries to push it here. But that is what I do not want. But in this case, if you wanted the report to be this way, it could have been this way also. But in this case, the product name is missing. Oh, sorry, the product name has jumped to the report filter. That's what we do not want. Okay, now this is what actually is your data pivot table. And I think so that's all we have here. Now what we have learned in this thing is how to create a pivot table, and how to use a name range, and how to create a pivot table from the OLE or ODBC database. The process is the same as I have shown you in the Access. It is always the same. Okay, yeah, thank you very much for watching it. Bye bye.